we turn to Chame Rinpoche's writing on how to fill stupas and statues. And he identifies this both on the title page and in his initial invocation as based on what he has seen done. So what he has learned from the lineage of the wise through actual training and direct observation. And the reason why this is said is that in the Tantras there are many different complex and differing statements about how to fill various statues and stupas and so on. And so here, Chame Rinpoche is going to explain to us what is actually done, the way this is really done in practice. So first, he writes Namo Guru Manju Goshayi, which means homage to the gurus of the lineage inseparable from Manjushri. And he says, I will write here of how to place the appropriate contents within images and stupas according to the lineage of sight. The lineage of sight means having actually seen your teachers do something and having been taught by them how to do it. Because there can be a tremendous difference in the size of both statues and stupas, the contents and the placement of the contents is not always the same. What must go in a large statue or a large stupa cannot possibly fit into a very small statue or stupa. And what goes into a very small statue or stupa is obviously insufficient for what goes into a large one. He begins, however, with the larger ones. And the larger, in the case of a larger statue or stupa, the first thing is to place within it, planted in the very base of it and going up to the top of it, the life tree. And then, having placed the life tree into the image, you then place the things that go around it, the various other contents, starting from the bottom up and gradually piling them up until it is completely full. And in the case of a large stupa or statue, you are doing this from the outside. There will be some kind of temporary opening through which you can reach into it. Now, to go back to that's sort of a brief statement. Now, to go through this step by step. In the case of a large statue, for example, that is of a life size or human size or bigger, the first thing is that there has to be an ablution, not only of the outside of the statue, but of the inside. Now, statues are generally cast either cast from metal or sculpted from clay. If the statue is cast from metal, then you use the ablution water, which contains special ingredients for that purpose. Analogous, Rinpoche said, to the fact that when we wash our hands, we don't just use water, we also use soap. And you actually wash the inside of the statue clean physically with this water that's been consecrated and has these special ingredients in it. If it's a clay statue, you can't do that because it will start to dissolve. So you shine a reflection of the interior of the statue onto a mirror, and you wash the image of it with the mirror. In either case, the purpose of this is to remove the stains or traces of the sweat, breath, and spit, and hand dirt of the person who made the statue. So the first thing is to clean it, the inside. The next thing is to fumigate it. And the fumigation of the statue and this can be done at the same time, Rinpoche said, is done with the proper smoke the fumigation incense that we normally use for the expulsion of obstructors. Having cleansed and fumigated the statue, the next thing is to coat the inner wall, the inner surface of the statue, which is hollow, with a paste that is made from specific ingredients, various types of fine incense and medicinal herbs. And you coat the interior of it thickly, as though you were plastering it on the inside. In Tibet, Rinpoche said, in Eastern Tibet, usually we used a kind of clean white earth for this. Then the next step is to prepare what are called the place syllables. Now the place syllables are the mantras, and they are specific to each place, that correspond to and consecrate the sense organs represented in the statue. So they will go at the height of the eyes, at the height of the ears, the height of the mouth, and so on. And these sense organ mantras, it says, should be adorned with saffron at least at the beginning of the mantra. And this, Rinpoche says, because saffron was so scarce in Eastern Tibet, they couldn't do the whole thing with saffron, so they just coated the first of it. And then once these mantras are properly dried, then they are placed in the appropriate site within the statue: the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears, and so on. And with the mantra facing outward toward the outside of the statue. And it was customary in Eastern Tibet to stick them to the inside of the statue with honey. And the reason for this was that the glue that was present in Eastern Tibet was made from animal leather, so therefore it was considered impure. Now, if the statue is smaller and you can't get your hand in to do all of this, then the place or sense organ letters are wrapped up as scrolls and wrapped around the appropriate height of the life tree. Next, we turn to the life tree. Now, the life tree should be made from juniper. Rinpoche said that was in Eastern Tibet. In India, of course, it could be made from even finer scented woods, such as sandalwood and so forth. The direction and the orientation of the life tree should not be mixed up. In other words, when the tree is fashioned into the life tree, the base of the tree should be at the bottom of the statue, and the top of the tree should be at the top. And it should be facing the directions in which it grew. So the part of the tree that is the eastern face of the life tree, because it's square and that has four faces, should be the part of the tree that was facing east before it was cut, and so forth. It is the life tree is cut into a square so that it forms a something like an obelisk that gets narrower gradually toward the top. The very top of it is also formed into a four-sided pyramid, so it comes to a point and has four sides at the top. So it looks very much like an obelisk. It should have no cracks in it. It should be smooth, and is also plastered with this incense, fragrant incense paste. Now, on the four directions of the top, the pyramid at the top, should be written Om, Drum, So, and Ha, one syllable on each of the four triangles. If, however, the life tree is too small for that, then you can put an Om underneath and then Om, and then in the corresponding places in the statue, Hum, and then So, where the abdomen of the statue, the navel of the statue, and Ha, where it reaches the bottom or lower abdomen of the statue. And then the dharanis, or mantras, which fill the statue, are placed all around this, or in a sense wrapped around it. Now, in terms of the dharanis of deities, if many different deity mantras and guru mantras are going to be placed, then the gurus go on top, and then the deities go from the top down based on the class of tantra from which those mantras come. So at the top are the lineage guru name mantras. Then below that, the mantras from the non-dual tantra, like Kala Chakra, and the Hatha Yoga tantra. Below that, the mantras from the Anuyoga tantra. Below that, the mantras from the Mother Tantra of Anuttara Yoga and the Mahayoga Tantra. Below that, the mantras from Yoga Tantra. Below that, the mantras from Charya. Below that, from Kriya Tantra. And then the dharanis that are on the juncture between Sutra and Tantra. Now, in the case of these mantras, mantras for male deities that are from Father Tantra, or male deities who are not affiliated with either a particular Father or Mother Tantra, should be facing outward and rolled up from the end. Mantras of female deities and mantras of male deities such as Chakra Samvara, who are associated with Mother Tantra, should be facing inward and again rolled up from the end. All of these mantras are then wrapped up in paper, silk, cotton, and finally colored, bound with colored thread. When the life tree is placed inside the statue or stupa, the following is what is recited. May all sentient beings possess the 10 knowledge, come to possess the 10 knowledges. May the teachings long remain. May all beings with the best of intentions enter into the aspirations of Samantabhadra. Om Vajra Ayushe, Ayu means longevity, Swaha.